Hello, my name is HIROKO, and I'm a public relations officer for the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan. I am also a collaborator for the IAU Office for Astronomy Outreach. Today, the world is celebrating the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. The IAU, also known as the International Astronomical Union, celebrated Women and Girls in Astronomy in 2019. As a legacy of this project, we are celebrating the Women and Girls in Astronomy project. This involves supporting events that recognize the role of women in advancing science and encouraging girls to consider a career in astronomy. I'm the organizer for this project. Today, we have with us an astronomer, Dr. LYDIA CIDALE. Let me introduce her. Dr. LYDIA CIDALE serves as Vice Dean of the Faculty of Astronomical and Geophysical Sciences of the National University of La Plata in Argentina, where she is also a professor. She's also the principal investigator of the National Scientific and Technological Research Council. She was born in the northwest of Argentina. She received her diploma and her PhD from the National University of La Plata. Her research field is primarily in the area of stellar astrophysics, studying stellar winds of B supergiants and circumstellar environments of B and B-type stars. At present, she is a co-chair of the IAU Executive Committee Working Group, Women in Astronomy. She is also the deputy representative of the IAU to the Standing Committee for Gender Equality in Science. We are pleased to welcome Dr. LYDIA.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, and it's a pleasure to share this interview to give information about astronomy and women in astronomy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving your precious time. Okay. Could you tell us why you became interested in astronomy?
Well, as you have mentioned already, I was born in the northwest of Argentina, and I live in the mountains. And there I used to see the night sky for hours. I spent many hours looking the wonderful sky. And when I was around 12 year 12 years old, I was wondering if it was possible to study things that are so far. And my parents encouraged me a lot. My father, for example, bought me a little telescope, and he always provide me with magazines like American Scientist, Sky Telescope. And my mother also brought me books on science. And I remember my first experience with the telescope because I looked through the telescope and I was disappointed, completely disappointed, because I found out that the stars are little points
Oh,
similar as we see them with Nike A. And nevertheless, when I was in the last year of my primary school, I started to receive the first concept on astronomy. And at that time, I say, I will be an astronomer. So I keep that idea for years.
so your parents was encouraged you, and that was the first point of you to
Yes,
become an astronomer.
my father was always saying that I should be physicist or nuclear physicist or astrophysics, that I should study that.
Oh,
And I like it very much, so I do it.
what do you
Or
know
I
why
did it.
he said that kind of thing? Like,
I think that he liked astronomy,
oh,
and also science fiction and all that things. And uh, I copied that. I was interested, and well, perhaps he would like to study, no, astronomy,
Mm-hmm.
but he couldn't.
So he was it was one of his dream too.
Yes,
Yeah.
probably, but he studied business and work on business and
Mm-hmm.
has a hobby, astronomy, like a hobby.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Very nice. So I'll go on to the next question. Um, did you ever feel like you suffered gender discrimination in becoming an astronomer and during your time working as an astronomer?
I experienced some kind of discriminations at the high school when we had a male math teacher that he was asking what we are planning to study at the university in the following year. And I said I would like to study astronomy. And he said, "Oh, you are not a top student, so it's not for you." Well, I didn't pay attention. I decided
Yeah.
to forget what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And the second bad experience was at the university when we were in the entrance course to the university, and a professor, a very important professor, gave some negative advice to us. For example, he said that if we want to be an astronomer, we should give up having a family because there is no place for kids and astronomy. I think that this was a silly myth, because then the experience showed that um, it was the contrary.
Mm-hmm.
So that we discovered that long time after. But well, again, we didn't notice about them.
Mm-hmm.
But during the university courses or while we were working, I never feel, I have never felt that we were discriminated. All the contrary, professors push us to continue and introduce to meetings, to work. And I asked my mate and colleague and all that women colleagues feel the same, no? That it was a nice course.
Mm-hmm.
So the discrimination was first mainly from society, from people
Mm-hmm.
that is not at the university.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So people from university knows about the real situation, but the society doesn't know the real situation. Right?
yes, yes, because for example, an aunt of mine,
Mm-hmm.
when I was a child, no,
Mm-hmm.
or teenage, I don't remember. I was saying that I would like to study astronomy, and they
Mm-hmm.
say, no, astronomy has no money. You will. But then I said, okay, you are a woman, so you would find a husband, and the husband will maintain you. So don't worry, you can study astronomy. So this is the social feeling of the people, no, from
Oh.
society. And sometimes I think that many of them have that idea. But
Mm-hmm.
then when you are in the university, you find out that it's completely different, that the
Mm-hmm.
people that is studying have your same thoughts. and the same ideas
Mm-hmm.
and same projects.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice place.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing your experience. Um, I'll go to question number 3. Um, I heard the ratio of female to astronomers is very high in Argentina compared to other countries. Could you tell us what percentage of astronomy fields in Argentina is composed of women, as well as the percentage in your faculty? Why do you think that is?
Well, it is true. Argentina has the highest percentage of women in astronomy. We are 42%. The University of La Plata, for example, is the second largest university in the country and has the biggest school in astronomy. By the way, is the first in Latin America. And also in the university or in the faculty, we have 42% and 42% in all the category of teaching and research. And if we compare with the countryside, there is another university in Cordoba. They have 33% of women in astronomy. But women also have a participation in the Astronomical Association of Argentina, and we have also 42%. And our representations in the International Astronomical Union is 42%. So it seems that we have 42% in all the categories
Mm-hmm.
and participation. So it seems that we achieve the equality, no? Because it's the number that we receive at the university and the number that we graduate and the number we do all the things. I think that the why it's happened. Well, really, I don't know why it happened. I have some thoughts that could help. For example, one of the things is that we have a free education system. So I think that the social situation in combination with the free education allow to both middle class and working class people to go to the university. There is another reason perhaps that I remember around 1970 that the mid class people was proud to have somebody in the university. So the society pushed the students, you should go to the university. You will have a better kind of life if you go study and go to the university. So this idea make that most of the students, when they finish the high school, have as a project to go first at the university. And of course, the university receive people, male and female students. And of course, many of them were successful and finished the courses. And when we make statistics about how many women and how many men are in the university, and particularly in geoscience, that we have the statistic, for example, we have 50% of geophysics and 50% of males and females, and they have the same grades and they spend the same time to finish the courses. And after that, the same number continues with the PhD studies, and the same number, 50 and 50, obtain the PhD in the same time. So we have that situation, that particular situation. So now we I think that at the university we don't feel discrimination because we are 50 and 50, and we can compare the production of women with the production of men, and all is the same.
After PhD, do they also have same ratio. So
Yes.
yeah.
But now we are having more women than men. For
Mm.
example, this year's the number of students that
Mm.
finished the PhD degree was six women and 3 men.
Wow. It's double the
Uh,
yeah number.
yes, it's the double. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
this year in astronomy. No?
Mm-hmm.
Other years is half and half, and other years is 42. On average, is 42.
Mm-hmm.
But in geophysics, is 50-50.
Mm. Wow, it's great.
Also, we have a lot of laws and women movement that help no,
Mm-hmm.
to the situations. For example, now we have a lot of benefits. For example, we have maternity leave for 6 months. We have also free childcare for PhD researchers. The university has a kindergarten for women that work as a professor or non-teaching activities. So there are a lot of women movement and a lot of regulations that helps to the situation of women and facilitate women to do their work.
I think Japan and other countries have like free,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
it's better than
free
other
those kind
countries.
of things. Yeah. Mm, thank you. In Japan, the ratio of female astronomers is very low, and there are few female students who major in astronomy and physics. My major was physics when I was an undergraduate, and there were only 3 women out of 70 students. What do you think Japan and other countries should do in order to increase the number of women in the astronomy field?
Well, I think that we should say to women that they should be confident that they can do that. We need, for example, as I have already mentioned, there is no evidence that a woman is better or worse than a man. So they can make the same study with the same grades. So they can do the same activities with the same result. It is important to have equal opportunities to study and to work, and perhaps at the beginning it is necessary to implement some regulations such as quota or give a student fellowship for women to motivate them to study and or to obtain a research position. Also, now I think that technology is a good system to communicate women with other research group made by women and share some thoughts and experience and copy, for example, the regulations. And also there is some opportunities outside each country that you can uh, obtain experience and then be how to insert again in your country
Mhm.
or change the country is another possibility. But Argentina is a good place to share activities, to meet, to to work with the group, and it's a way to change the view, the point of view of the society.
So the girls should be confident. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
so a girl should be confident.
confident.
And also, yes, we need other sectors that are made by minorities. Also, should have the same equality of opportunity, and we should gather and work and be confident that we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, sometimes it's not easy, but it's possible.
I would like to go to Argentina.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are welcome. You are welcome.
Yeah.
We have a group. Our group is conformed mainly by women. We are 10 women and 3 men.
Oh.
So, and we are an important group.
Yeah. We'll go on to the next question. Number 5. Do you feel that gender equality is important?
Yes, I think that the gender equality is important, and we need to include all previous excluded people also. Regardless the religion, the sexuality, the ethnic origin, because the diversity is important, the cultures, the different culture is important, and everybody will make a better world and also better science. Because if we work together, we will be able to obtain the best result.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same. Yes.
Yes, because there is no prejudice.
I think you've already answered this question, but in particular, why is it important to have more women in the field of astronomy?
Well, I think that they enrich the they have the enrichment of women in participating on science is very important, and sometimes they give a different approach. And in relation to that, I remember a philosopher, Prigozhin, that once came to Argentina, and this is more than 20 years ago, and he was looking for an answer to the origin of the universe. And he was interested in studying native tribes or native cultures, that especially those cultures that are isolated from the rest of the world, because he said that they have their own thoughts, and that thought will be different from the rest of the thoughts. And these different thoughts will be a clue to answer the answer, will be a clue to know the answer of the origin of the universe. And he came to Latin America looking for such culture, because the diversity is important, especially if you are from different cultures, you have different education, all that things makes. So the mind is, our mind is constrained by education. So it is important to have the point of view of other person, that this would help to, to obtain a better science and to reach new discoveries. So for that reason, it's important, not only women, but also everybody.
Mhm. Yes, I totally agree. Having more women and not only women is, yeah, important.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay. What was the biggest barrier for you to overcome in order to become professional in your field? How did you overcome it?
Well, except to the society, that is the biggest barrier, because that the university was quite different. I found out that it's important to be confident. So if you are confident on yourself, you can go further. And then also I learned that you don't need to be the smartest person, the more intelligent person in the world. That is important only to study firmly and in a constant way, and you will be a very good astronomer, even with better perhaps than somebody that is very clever. Because the constancy and studying slowly is important.
Mhm. Studying constant is,
Yes,
yeah, very important.
I think that you grew a lot doing that.
Mhm. What can be done to encourage positive changes in relation to the low representation of women in decision-making roles in astronomy?
Well, one at the beginning, perhaps it could be necessary to implement regulations such as quotas, a special student fellowship, or research position to motivate women or girls to study astronomy, invite women to participate in committees, editorials, but also it's important to create academics for, especially in that countries that are in the development countries like in Latin America and Africa. And we have to use technology to study also, uh, because as I mentioned uh, when we started to talk, that
Mhm.
the technology is a useful tool to insert in astronomy and to take courses from other university. Perhaps you don't have the possibility, but you have internet and you can study online
Mhm.
or in a remote way, and study astronomy and work in astronomy. Now it is not necessary to go to observe. You have a lot of archive data. Astronomy is growing a lot, so an astronomer can do a lot of things, can work in industry, in business, because have all the knowledge to insert in big data, in computer, in programming, in space science, have a lot of possibility. And I think that in the future we'll have more possibilities.
Mhm.
So I think that is a good future to study astronomy.
Mhm. So we have
It
to
is
like,
important also, it is important also to have an school only in astronomy.
oh,
This is a difference that we have in Argentina. We have the physics courses, and we have the astronomy courses. When we start to study at the university, we start to study astronomy from the beginning.
mhm.
So we don't have a competition of other science, and we focus only on astronomy.
Mhm.
This is a good motivation, I think.
Mhm. Do you have a message to all the young women and girls who are watching this video and are interested in astronomy?
Well, I think you should follow your desires to be an astronomer, and don't let people discourage you. Just do it. Technology today helps to share science, to work with other teams, and provides a lot of possibilities to for new discoveries. And I think that we should remain that that is possible to have a family, and it is compatible with studying, teaching, and research. And I would like to paraphrase a poem from an Spain poet named Antonio Machado. He's, he wrote it in 1889, and I will change only a word. He used the word walkers, and I will use women. So, women, there is no path. The path is made by walking. So, like astronomy, like science, you investigate doing your own path.
Mm-hmm.
So your work, everything depend on what you do. So I think that this is my message.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to go for your desire and like investigate the path of astronomy. That's very cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, doctor, for your time today.
Thank you, and thank you also to you, to people who can hear, and I hope that more women study astronomy. It's a fascinating science.
Mm-hmm. It was a pleasure talking with you today, and thank you to those watching at home. And I hope aspiring future astronomers will be encouraged and inspired by this interview. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Thank you.